Gold contributes the largest portion of our foreign currency earnings. It is behind the stabilization, the increasing stabilization of the Zimbabwe dollar. We are anchoring our currency in our gold production. Many countries export to earn their foreign currency. Zimbabwe, in addition to exporting to earn hard currency, it digs gold. And you, Matebele and South, are a major gold producer. We are also excited that the president is opened prospects for investors in the lithium sector. Zulu Mine is there. This is a billionaire from China. You know, lithium, white gold is becoming an important source of mobility as the cars move from fossil fuels to lithium-ion batteries. So there is a role cut out for Matebele and South to play its strength in lithium production in new energy mobility, where we will make Matebele and South will be contributing as to what Russia does with oil, to what Saudi Arabia does with petroleum. Matebele and South will be doing with lithium. There's also the bright prospects coming up on the Limpopo Valley as we increase our citrus exports. You know, the Nottingham Forest citrus estates will be joined by many others as we follow the Limpopo Valley all the way to Mozambique. We've just signed a major contract with China, 50,000 tons for citrus per annum. This is only the beginning. So your soils are rich, you've got enough waters. The president has been damming the waters of all the rivers of Matebele and South to make sure that all year-round irrigation is available for the new ventures in citrus production. So for the diaspora of Matebele and South, which has always gone to South Africa to get their jobs, opportunities are coming back, courtesy of the Second Republic and the inclusive program of President E.D. Mnangagwa. Nyika inovakwa nevenhu vayo, hapana watichasiya, munhu wese anokwana kuti tifambirane neZANU-PF kuenda kumberi. So there we go, Mat South. This is your day tomorrow. And come 2023 August, vote ZANU-PF for a hopeful, open agenda of development which will vault Zimbabwe to middle income status economy by 2030. Thank you so much. This is a major turn. We are, like I indicated to you earlier on, many countries earn hard currency by exports. They work hard to produce goods and services which they sell to other countries. And the currency of preference is the US dollar for the last 50 years because of the importance of fuel in the world economy. And Saudi Arabia made a compact with the United States to say that fuel must be sold in US dollars. That's why there's the petrodollar. Now, we in Zimbabwe, we are lucky that in addition to earning through exports, we produce the original money of the world, which is gold. For 5,000 years, humanity has used gold as its store of value, as its transaction currency. We now are restoring gold as the main source of support for the Zimbabwe dollar. And we are happy that so many young people are digging gold. We are now moving from 35 tons to 60 tons, 2/3 of that coming from young people. The more we dig gold, the more our currency stabilizes. So we want to thank the wonderful work which is being done, because we are supporting our currency by God's own currency, by nature's own currency, gold. The more we dig, the more the Zimbabwe dollar stabilizes. So we will be immune to the dictates of any foreign government, including the American government, because their money is based on fiat. It's a decision by the American government to place a value on the Zimbabwe dollar. Gold is decided by the global market. At any day, the price of gold in any market on earth is the same. And Zimbabwe, we dig gold. So we are lucky, and the President Mnangagwa is focused on gold, and young people have responded positively with increased production in gold. 2 to 3 million young people digging gold and making money every day. This is a great pleasure. Kate, thank you, the Second Republic. Well, this is the good fortune of Zimbabwe, that in Zimbabwe gold is everywhere. You go into the river, you can get some gold. You go and dig a little bit, anywhere in Zimbabwe, you get gold. And for more than 800 years of Zimbabwe's history, gold has been our currency. That is the currency which backed all the great civilizations of Munumutapa and Changamire, starting from Mapungubwe in South Africa to Great Zimbabwe, to Masvingo, to Danamombe in Gweru, to Kami. All these cities were built on the basis of the gold trade by all the states around the Indian Ocean, from Indonesia to Egypt, from Egypt all the way to India, to Iran. Zimbabwe was a major gold trading civilization for more than 800 years. So what the Second Republic has done is it has restored the allure of gold into our economy by the decision made by in reinforcing the decision in 2016 to legitimize young people as bona fide gold producers. Before that, they were not allowed. It was illegal. After 2016, they were allowed. But the Second Republic under President Mnangagwa has reinforced our gold economy by making sure that the price in Dubai or in Hong Kong is the same price in Zimbabwe. So there's no more smuggling of gold. So our gold reserves have grown up. And by growing up, it means we have the reserve of the strongest currency on earth, which is gold, much stronger than the US dollar in terms of supporting the Zimbabwe dollar. So what is happening now is that US dollars leave America from their printing presses at the federal printing presses in New York, the Federal Reserve Bank of America. They are the ones who print US dollars because it's American money. But it is money which the whole world uses because it is used for the trade of fuel. That's why it is called the petrodollar. But now America sends its US dollars to the Middle East. What happens there is that the planes also leave Zimbabwe carrying gold to arrive in the Middle East in Dubai. And the gold from Zimbabwe is exchanged for US dollars in Dubai. So before they unpegged those US dollars, they are on their way to Zimbabwe. That's why you are seeing all our $100 notes are new, unlike the other smaller units. It's because the central bank, which is the sole trader of gold in this country, don't listen to this nonsense of these nincompoops who are saying we are traders of gold in this infamous story from Al Jazeera. It is only the central bank which trades gold in Zimbabwe, and it's legitimate, it's not sanctioned. So the central bank has accounts in Dubai which are denominated in US dollars, and they bring their US dollars to Zimbabwe, and it is these US dollars which are supporting our currency. That's why we now have the Musowa Tunya gold currency. And very soon, we are going to have a gold digital currency in Zimbabwe, supported by the hard work of young people in Zimbabwe who are now allowed and are being encouraged to dig gold. They contribute 60% of the 35 tons of gold which we produce. And we are aiming to go 60 tons. I was in Hong Kong, they want Zimbabwe's gold. I was in Shenzhen, they want Zimbabwe's gold. I was in Beijing, they want Zimbabwe's gold. I was in Shanghai, they want Zimbabwe's gold. We are being invited to Mumbai, they want Zimbabwe's gold. The more gold we dig, the more our currency gets strong. Watch it. In the next 3 to 4 years, we may have a situation where the 3 US dollars are equal to 1 Zimbabwe dollar because of the beauty of being endowed with gold resources which are unmatched on earth. I haven't added the lithium. I have not added the steel which is going to be coming out of Manise. All these minerals are making a virtuous cycle of Zimbabwe becoming a net gainer in terms of hard currency. And the best anchor for that hard currency is our gold, which is being dug increasingly by young, hard-working people who are making sure that our gold reserves keep piling up. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for having so much gold. And thank you, young people who are digging gold all over the country, from Makaha in Mutoko to Gwanda, from Gwanda to Kwekwe, from Kwekwe to Chegutu. Everywhere, young people are digging gold. They are digging Zimbabwe's money. We have the fortune that other countries earn hard currency by exporting goods and services. We have the added beauty that we actually dig money, gold. This is the money of ages. For the 5,000 years of human civilization, gold has been the currency, and Zimbabwe is endowed with God's own currency, gold.
Of artificial means. And you can't resolve economic contradictions through patching up. You need to attend to structural reforms because there are structural challenges. What has happened in the past a few weeks is deliberate manipulation of the Zimbabwean dollar. So what they've done is the exchange rate has been going up because too much money is chasing too few goods. So the economy has been awash with excess Zimdollar liquidity, well in excess of 500 billion Zimbabwean dollars. So what the Reserve Bank did was, it allowed the rate to shoot. So you saw the rate on the Dutch auction system depreciating and going all the way to about 6,000 Zimdollar to the RTGS. You also saw the interbank wholesale rate also depreciating to around 6,000, 6.3. Once the rate had gone up, it means that buying the Zimdollar became cheaper because it's now weak. So the Reserve Bank pumped about 80 million US dollars to purchase and mop up this excess liquidity. So right now, at the present moment, as I'm talking to you right now, there is no RTGS dollar in the market. There is no Zimbabwean dollar in the market. And because there is no Zimbabwean dollar in the market, supply and demand. Supply is now reduced. Supply of Zimbabwean dollars is now reduced. So that means they've achieved some artificial temporal stability, which is why they are now celebrating. But this is short term. This is short term because the taps must be kept open. The taps have to be open. They have to pay contractors. They have to monetize election. It's election season right now, so they have to buy things for the election. They have to monetize election, demands. So money supply will increase again, forcing the rates to go up again, forcing the Zimbabwean dollar to depreciate again. Their target is to keep on squeezing the tape, keep on closing until the rate is formally 1:3,000. But that can't happen. So the black market rate is firmed and refused to move from 8,500. So it's kukiakia, it's feja economics. As I've been saying, if someone has got diarrhea, you don't stitch him up in order to prevent the person from being sick. You address the sickness by giving him a drug called Imodium. So that's the problem which we have. They are stitching up instead of addressing the fundamental problem. Well, look, I don't expect it next week to depreciate any significantly. But once we go full time in election season, with posters and whatnot, inputs being bought, contractors being paid, vehicles moving across the country, fuel and so forth, the rate will just shoot up and the Zimbabwean dollar will depreciate. So this is just temporary. 2-3 weeks they can hold. But because we're in election season, it can't hold. The solution is 4-5 things that need to be done. The first thing is that the Zimbabwean dollar will continue to depreciate and the exchange rate will continue to appreciate as long as we've got a government that can't live within its means. So the first thing is that the government must live within its means. There must be fiscal consolidation or balancing of the books, what I used to call we eat what we kill, because it is deficit financing that is generating excess money in the economy, which is now causing too much money to chase too few goods, the crisis of overaccumulation. Number 2, we should dollarize. We should use the dollar. The civil servants should be paid in dollars. Number 3, we should allow the Zimbabwean dollar to float freely so that it finds a natural resting place. So there should be a liberalization of the Zimbabwean, dollar. Number 4, we should scrap the auction. The auction is just arbitrage. So let's scrap the Dutch auction system in its entirety. Number 5, let's scratch export surrender requirements, because they're just taking money from exporters, which money could otherwise be going to feed the system, to increase the supply of US dollars in the economy. Number 6, let's deal with corruption, because corruption is creating arbitrage. Corruption is creating pressures of money printing. So dealing with corruption is very, very important. Number 7, let's deal with the issue of sovereign debt, because Zimbabwe's sovereign debt is crippling. It's unsustainable. It's well above 100% of GDP. So we don't have a proper capital account in Zimbabwe, because we can't access the huge amounts of cheap money that are in the World Bank, that are in the African Development Bank, and indeed the IMF. So it's a potpourri of reforms that need to be done, fundamental reforms that need to be done. Look, there is continuous blame game. Business has been blamed, but business must act rationally. You can't expect business people to levy their charges in Zimbabwean dollars, which currency is actually destroying them. Businesses buy and stock up their working capital using US dollars. So they'll fill up their factories using US dollars. So you can't expect the same business person to sell in Zimbabwean dollars or to sell at an exchange rate that will kill him. So they'll behave rationally. And when they do that, they're not sabotaging you. It's you who's sabotaging them by trying to force economics and economic policies that doesn't work. And that is the problem. You've got a culture of blaming everyone except yourself. They blame sanctions, they blame the opposition, they blame even the religious leaders. It doesn't work, and it won't work.